Hello, beloveds. This is Empress Chakra Wanda, and I am your spiritual encourager. And I have been assigned by the divine in this experience on the planet to help those who choose to live an intentionally intuitive lifestyle. Hey, so I learned about making the statement right at the beginning as to who I am, as to what I do, and who I assist, and how I do it. So I hope I got that. Maybe I'll be able to fine tune that as time goes on. My main theme is to talk about living an intuitive and living an intentional, intuitive lifestyle. So we're going to sit here. The topic, what I want to talk to you all about is, and I wanted to be organized, how creative expression cured my depression. How creative expression cured my depression. So I'm going to talk about 3 creative expressions. So this is going to be, maybe I'll just make this one long video, or should I make it in 3 parts? But I'm going to put links at the bottom, and I'm going to get my lighting right, and I'm going to talk about the 3 most recent creative expressions that have helped me in times where I've not felt so uplifted, where I felt, down. So I'm going to tell you how I discovered that creativity is a healing path for me. Hold on, let me turn the noise off in the back. Hold on. All right, so here we go. I recall when I was in my, I want to say maybe in my mid-20s, and I was having a time where I was feeling down and depressed about a relationship, probably lack thereof. And on that one weekend, I went to visit my sister and my mother, and my sister and I drove past a craft store, and we walked through, and they had a posting about a class on how to make silk flower arrangements. This was so many years ago. I was working in corporate America at the time. We took this class, and I learned how to make silk flower arrangement by hand, by actually molding and creating roses and different types of flowers. I mean, you actually had to buy the pieces, the silk petals, and the mold that goes, that you would put the petals round, a cone-like mold, the green tape to make the stems and everything. Do you know from that, first of all, sitting in the class, began to make something that came out beautiful, put my mind into a state of calm, of a sense of completion and satisfaction of creating this. That turned into a business, y'all. It wasn't intentional. At the time, I was working for a corporation, and I was the mail clerk. And I began to make these silk flower baskets and arrangements, and I would take it with me as I was delivering the mail on the mail cart. Next thing you know, people were like, "Hey, can you make me an arrangement?" They would call me and say, "Hey, I have a family member in the hospital, or I want an arrangement for, an event." Next thing you know, people were requesting anywhere from flower arrangements for a wedding, things like that, And I wasn't aware of the the idea of marketing. But I'm going to tell you, it had picked up so much. I had gotten into it. I was a receptionist at the time, and I worked 9 to 5, and after work I'd come home. I'd work with my supplies till midnight. I began shipping silk flower arrangements back and forth between Virginia and Baltimore, our offices. I mean, I was getting so many orders. One time I left out of the office and I had made $1,000. This might have been in the 80s. And I had ideas of approaching hotels and restaurants by creating, silk flower arrangements, for the lobby and for the tables. And it really, really turned into something. But what I, over time, realized is that when I am creating, when I am expressing, that I no longer felt depressed. Now, I don't want to take light of the seriousness of depression. I've never, over the years, taken the steps to get counseling or, medication or anything like that. But, so I don't want to take slight for those that actually have a level of depression that requires a doctor's attention. So if you're one of those, make sure that you take care of yourself and get the help that's necessary. So as a disclaimer, what I'm sharing of my experience is not something to replace what you need to do for yourself. So that's the disclaimer. So that turned into a business. But again, I recognized that when I would get the inspiration to want to create, I found out over the years that I have the ability to, when it comes to using my hands, that I do pretty good at it once I am shown how to do a thing. Fast forward. Let's fast forward to the latest project, and that has been painting. Yes, painting. And I was challenged by a dear friend that I met through social media, never met in person. Her, what is her name? I can't remember her name. But she sent me a message. I had reached out to her. I saw she's similar to me as a multi-creative, multi-passionate. She's a Sag. And her name is coming to my mind, but Sonia, that's her name. So this was during 2020. I saw that she was making canvas pieces, like she was taking canvases and putting different types of material on canvas. So it was actually fabric art. And then she was also doing painting. And it was a kind of painting technique called pour painting, P-O-U-R, where you basically poured layers of paint in a little cup, and then you poured that cup onto the canvas. That was just one way. And it's a free-form way. You don't mix the paint. You just put layers, and there's a science to that, and how much white paint, black paint, in between the layers of the colors. And then you would pour it on the canvas, and then you would pick the canvas up and move it around. And I started pour painting. I'm going to interject right now an example. So I'm going to show you my setup. One of my clients loaned me this buggy to take all of my paintings in, and I was able to get prints done. Some of my recent work. This is was a recent piece here, and I was able to get prints done of that. I did bring out some of my necklaces, and I set up my bio. Hey, Divine Designs, Alicia, I made it to my first event, baby. I'm showing my display. Write down cell and things so I can figure it on. So I'm grateful to be able to be here to finally show my artwork in public. So I'm just going to just be in the observer mode and just go with the flow and enjoy the festivities. There's going to be a food truck with some soul food, and you heard the drumming in the background. There's going to be dancers. So it was cooler earlier today, but the sun did come out, and just here. All right, I'll check back with you guys later. Yes, and next thing you know, I started doing live streaming, showing. I would call it creation therapy, and like I just came home from work, and it takes me a while to settle down, but I'd be so excited about coming home and just seeing what would happen if I continue with the pour painting. And what I noticed is that when I would do the pour painting and manipulate the canvas and then I looked at YouTubes. I ended up taking a class from a woman who's a master pour painter. I started with small canvases and went up to big canvases, up to about 18 by 24, 24 by 36. But I didn't have enough room in my home space at the time, the apartment I was in, to really go big. Then I began to use the same technique to make jewelry. I would find wood pieces round wood pieces, different shapes, to make earrings. And then I would use jump rings, copper jump rings, punch holes into some of the shapes and make necklaces and earring sets. And that was a big hit. I remember having an Etsy shop, and anytime I would upload the earrings, within 15 minutes, my phone would be buzzing. With Etsy, whenever you make a sale, it's a cash register sound. Oh my God, it was wonderful. I do hope this winter to continue with that. Here's an example of some of those earring projects. So, again, the subject is how, what is it? How creative expression cured my depression. So, it was during 2020 when I began doing the pour painting. Everybody was locked in. And I think many of us discovered, oh my God, that the pandemic really brought about and made many of us aware, once we were isolated, that literally we've been keeping ourselves busy from really sitting with ourselves and sitting with the layers of things that are down deep. I have found that it is imperative that I do have connection. Now, I'm an introvert, but I'm an extroverted introvert. And I'm not too much really big on the DMing and inboxes and texting. I tell my closest colleagues, sister friends especially, that you need to call and check on me. You know, I need to hear a voice, and I think that's definitely what's missing. You know, this thing with the pandemic really, I think, made us aware that even though you're an introvert, we really need to have connection. It is okay to talk. You know, get on Zoom if you're still. I do observe. I have a couple of friends, and I do see where people that are traditionally introverted, you know, and we've had to come in, and still some. I have one or two friends that I observe that they do share with me that they do feel sadness every now and then, you know, and I encourage them to be in their creative space, right? Creativity. All right, creativity. I'm going to post a couple of links. One is a TEDx talk. I have it saved. It was a TEDx talk. Got 94,000 views talking about creativity, all the myths surrounding the idea that you're not creative, how to bust all of that out of the water. How we are made as human beings, how creativity is essential. It is, you know. You may be one who is creative just in your own energy, meaning you sit and you have the creative ability to be a good listener, right? To be a comforting voice for someone. Maybe you're one who is good as an orator. Maybe you write. If you don't write, start writing. Yeah. Share your writings. Or if you don't share your writings, record your writings and listen to your voice, you know. But again, one of the most recent creative expressions has been painting, and I did show you some videos of that. I'm going to put beneath here again that TEDx talk, and also the pour painting. I'm going to post a beginner video on how to get started with the pour painting. I went from pour painting to begin to draw because I was going on vacation, right? And I wanted the experience of being by the water and being creative on canvas. But I didn't want to take wet paint with me, so I began to take markers. The next thing you know, now I'm drawing. And I'm one that, I don't say that I actually draw. I don't know how to draw a face. You know, I know how to draw a shape, but I don't know how to draw the details of a face. But if I draw the shape, you can still understand that you can see the feminine, you know, expression. I know how to do that. What else I wanted to tell y'all? And so I began to do Zentangling, which is a doodling type of concept. I even branched most recently into a technique called Neurographic. And that actually is a term that was created in 2014. Okay, I'm going to put another link underneath. I got to look at this video again and remind myself of what links I'm going to share with you all. But Neurographic, anybody can do Neurographic. I'm telling you. And it is a type of therapy. I could even teach Neurographic. But this is going to be, now I know this is part one of... What did I say my title is? It is How Creative Expression Cured My Depression, Part 1. In Part 2, I'll talk about another creative expression that I have experimented with and was successful with over the last few years. I'll probably do, this is going to be a 3-part. So the next one is going to be the second creative expression that has helped me and being a healing aspect of my depression. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this, subscribe and hit that bell so you get my notifications. Also, feel free to share the link from this video with someone that you know who could benefit from hearing about how creativity may help with their depression. Blessings to you. See you on the next video.